Just going to show this show. I know I showed a bit of it before, but this was the local TV show from where I grew up in the Lower Mainland. This is Stephen Yan, one of the original, a pioneer of cooking shows. And then suddenly there was another Chinese guy from the States called Martin Yan. Like, couldn't you at least change the name? But Stephen Yan is our guy. But I'm going to show you, and at the end it's quite funny. It's only going to be a couple minutes, but I want you to take note of the beautiful furniture of the 80s. And look at the people in the audience. I remember, like, he was popular from people of all ages. There was little boys of 10 years old that watched the show, and old people. So how many people can get 10-year-old boys and their grandparents all watching the same thing, and they loved it? Everybody loved this guy.
The pickpocket very confused.
So between him and Bruce Lee, I mean, my goodness.
Any pocket you want. This is
from New Westminster to Abbotsford to Coquitlam to Vancouver, the whole area. This is probably
in Shanghai and also
early 80s. So he's taking us to Shanghai. Let's take a look at what it was like in 1980, early 80s, one or something.
This is what we call the Cheng Gong Dai Q. On the river Cheng Gong means long river. As long as 5 miles long.
They call it Chongqing now.
Chairman Mao used to swim across the river. With a lot of people, of course. But on the bridge, even though there's a 4-lane highway there, but it's very little traffic.
No traffic.
Everybody was just walking.
Everybody walking.
This is the Nanking. Nanking means
early 80s.
Capital. I was trying to walk up there. There's a lot of steps. This is the place
before
where
they forced everything.
Xin Yat-sen. This is his statue.
I think my great-grandfather knew him.
China.
Sun Yat-sen, or he's saying Xin Yat-sen. So there's a Chun in there.
Shanghai used to be a very, very big place. Still, it is a big place. Millions of people. I didn't count them. I think it must be over 10 million. They're all over the place, even standing next to the river. People are walking around, biking around. It's very, very busy. This is a big coliseum. Have 10 million people watching to play a little ping pong. Now, everywhere you go, you see a lot of people. They are gathered together. And then you walk along the river bank to see this special river where the big vessels, used to come in and out. Okay? Now, where all those goods are being shipped out and shipped in.
Look at this.
Now, this is a dragon boat in one of the exhibitions. Lots of people in the boat. It's not called a junk, it's the boat, all from Shanghai.
You got to read what's behind him.
Now I would like to do some special dish for you, and it's very exciting. I will be cooking 2 dishes in this show to make sure you walk with me. Okay, just like that.
We don't all look alike. He was hilarious. Now, I want to just say a couple things about this. Now, look at the colors. In the early 80s, everything was furnished. Everything made in China was actually very good because it was limited. It was just beautiful bamboo furniture, clothing. Now, the shirt he's wearing right now is what the commies used to wear. And notice he said that there were so many pockets in it. These poor Chinese really suffered a lot in the 60s and 70s, and they were going through a bit of a breakthrough with Deng Xiaoping. And then, of course, George Bush took them back into the hellish New World Order. Oops, there's a lobster. I don't want to show that. But we all had a little bit of breathing space. The whole world could breathe in the late 70s to the mid-80s. We were all breathing. Like on the west here, we had nasty crap going on. and over there too, and we could all breathe. This is why I'm saying if we go back into the early 80s. I mean, of course we can't, but I mean, I'm telling you, I don't have gray hair, and I surround myself with everything vintage from the 80s and music. I don't accept anything past 1989. Hardly anything. I don't accept it into my life. I don't accept it because it's worse. If something is worse, I'm not accepting it. So anyway, I want you to hear his language, the language that this Cantonese girl told me yesterday is a dying language, and the Chinese are taking themselves out. So I don't want to keep on reiterating that there is somebody who has been using the Chinese and the confusion about their history. And that's why we have to go back in time to the more relaxing eras where people could think straight. Like in the late 70s, early 80s, people were thinking clearly. So remember the things that they said about who we are, or about who you are, whatever, about how it was good. People were walking around, they were on their bicycles, etc. There was a bit of breathing space. But ever since the trauma happened and they started manufacturing stuff they don't really want to, they started going insane. And so you can't listen to anything an insane person says about themselves because they're insane.